What up, X? Yo. You two trolls catch my scimitar blade and turn snitch. Your man is your dog and your homegirl a bitch. Inquisition lies turn high priestess to witch. Burned at the stake, cooked like fish Escovitch. COINTELPRO are not pros but rookies. TikTok program makes young girls shake their cookies. Transgenders wanna be called proper pronouns. D-Wade's son turned daughter, pawn of the order. Used for the rituals, niggas wearing capris. Slam dunk champ shorts are way above his knees. By yourself with 3 masks on, that's a disease. Most of y'all are crack fiends for vaccines. Giving passes to perv clones like Weinstein. While in your favorite actor had property on Epstein Island. Hollywood Kazaj, tribe of 13 wizards. Blowing lies make visibility pour like blizzards. With sins greater than 55 miles per hour, stupidity will surely get your minds devoured. Using your soul to quench the thirst of diabolic devils, then ignorance will rise past hyperbolic levels. Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? What up, X? Yo. You two trolls catch my scimitar blade and turn snitch. Your man is your dog and your homegirl a bitch. Inquisition lies turn high priestess to witch. Burned at the stake, cooked like fish Escovitch. COINTELPRO are not pros but rookies. TikTok program makes young girls shake their cookies. Transgenders wanna be called proper pronouns. D-Wade's son turned daughter, pawn of the order. Used for the rituals, niggas wearing capris. Slam dunk champ shorts are way above his knees. By yourself with 3 masks on, that's a disease. Most of y'all are crack fiends for vaccines. Giving passes to perv clones like Weinstein. While in your favorite actor had property on Epstein Island. Hollywood Kazaj, tribe of 13 wizards. Blowing lies make visibility pour like blizzards. With sins greater than 55 miles per hour, stupidity will surely get your minds devoured. Using your soul to quench the thirst of diabolic devils, then ignorance will rise past hyperbolic levels. Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
I put your head on the water and show you what's important. You need ear, of course, and more will appear. Anywhere I stand, Morocco is there. So no matter where I stand, my rights will be clear. The law of the land, signed by the air. Ooh, the true air. Ownership, caught up in color, you disown the ship. A black star with black people in it. Ship gone via way before Julie boarded it. That's a smart plan by some hybrids. But the birds still fly with a message. A flag of culture, heritage. American Republic. Feeling like Carthage. You driving cars, I'm riding elephants. You're thinking nothing relevant. Black before every statement, you're an agent. Need I say more? I'm in 7-Eleven. You're thinking corner stores. Human rights declared, but how they corner yours?
Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
Look, if you want to read it, read Stanley Lane Poe's The Moors in Spain, written in 1887, or Alejandro Mataziza. Read his book in Spanish, The Moors in Spain, and said that even the bath was introduced by those Africans.
Ain't no goddamn motion picture.
They got me looking for the
Artifacts till my heart collapse. I be running through the scene like I'm on a lap. The way we left them on the scene put us on a map. So I be all up on the scene looking hard for all the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like red flags and green sashes. We assassins. Triple gold, my fist high like I'm Selassie. Physical, your men die, we everlasting. In the cold like Northgate, winter, Alaska. Killing the pastor, breaking it down my mind like a disaster. Ass whipping the bastard. If you don't represent the serpentine bloodline, more by bloodline, welcome to the front line. Baby, I want mine. I'm so impatient, I'm cutting up in the lunch line. I call it crunch time. They tryna punk some, but I ain't Noble Time. I'm Noble Draw Lee, I'm working overtime.
Look, if you want to read it, read Stanley Lane Poe's The Moors in Spain, written in 1887, or Alejandro Metaziza. Read his book in Spanish, The Moors in Spain, and said that even the bath was introduced by those Africans.
He do goddamn motion picture.
They got me looking for the artifacts till my heart collapse. I be running through the scene like I'm on a lap. The way we left them on the scene put us on a map. So I be all up on the scene looking hard for all the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like red flags and green sashes. We assassins. Triple gold, my fist high like I'm Selassie. Physical, your men die, we everlasting. In the cold like Northgate, winter, Alaska. Killing the pastor, breaking it down my mind like a disaster. Ass whipping the bastard. If you don't represent the serpentine bloodline, more by bloodline, welcome to the front line. Baby, I want mine. I'm so impatient, I'm cutting up in the lunch line. I call it crunch time. They tryna punk some, but I ain't Noble Time. I'm Noble Draw Lee, I'm working overtime. Hidden treaty, 1787 times 7-11, higher than 7 heavens. Steady, no guessing. Better stomach the lesson. Booby trapping that house, I'm home alone like Kevin. So step in. I'm here to make my case with law and rest it. I scimitar the fly, no heads, necklace. I keep a peppermint on the top of the dresser. Working 7 days a year, yeah, looking for the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like
doctrine of discovery from Maghreb Al-Aqsa. Always challenge jurisdiction of your captors. Stand on your square, no apron or protractors. Who manifest hep chef, something like Cleopatra. Man is man tantra, know that self mantra. Get out the lower self and vibrate your chakras. Walking on the higher road, my staff on my levels of Allah. If my God protected more with the sevens up. 4 quadrant halos, celestial pharaohs. Expose those Socrates and Plato's. Chopped down my cherry tree and still couldn't bury me. In their secret lodges, they pretend to be me. Indiana Jones, national treasures. Angels and demons and one world agendas. Razor blade smiles, alien, reptilian. Running corporate governments with warred civilians. Invisible wars, police state has risen. Uplifting, falling from their mental prisons. 5-point star drawn, vortex and wormholes. Leads to behind the backs of turncoats.
stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like.
But remember, when there came a time in 1506, Africans ruled Spain from 711. We were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S. From 711 until 1485.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the north.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence alarm, make civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, the stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysics. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, the stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysics. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like more prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Bet they won't. Bet they won't give it a try.
And I'm like, that's not true. So I'm putting this information out in order to correct the record, because a lot of this discourse is coming from the Moorish body, and let's just do better than that right there, you know? And I'm like, the information that the prophet brought was not the prophet's information. Let's just be real. If we want to pull out the circle 7, he said within the circle 7, he said he prepared the works. He didn't create it. And we can go on record and see that that is a plagiarized work of the Aquarian gospel. I can talk on plagiarism because
Wow. 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 How more alive do you want it that these people are traitors? How more alive you want it? How come the video is private now? How come the video is private right now, real time right now? Of course he snatched it. All these people are traitors. All of them. And all of them are falling on their sword right now so hard. All of them. Do you know how crazy it is that he said Noble Drew Ali and then the thing shut off on him? Even if he did it. Because he doesn't know that we're going. Unless he's watching our stuff. And went and put it private. This is how you know. Because Allah is going to show you. To your face. Allah is going to show you to your face who the jerks are and who the clowns are. And you better be following the clowns right now. You better have some crystal ball, crystal skull, bay leaf in the corner. You better have something going on right now. You better have, you know what they say? Concrete jungle. And then you go to some people's house and it's a jungle. Concrete what? Concrete what? The hell are you people talking about? What the hell are they talking about? They can't stop this. They think they can stop this. You know he lied on Noble Drew Ali? We can look at this so many ways. How come this? Right in your face. If you can't see what's going on right now and see which side you're supposed to be on, you're done for. You're done for. You better get on the right side ASAP. You better get on the right side ASAP. Because all these people just slipping, falling under swords right now. Hey. Hey, you know those videos? You know those videos? Those videos with the whee! That's how they fall on their sword. They're getting it right now. You see how that was just in your face? You see how that was just in your face? Yo. If you're not laughing, you're dead already. Oh my gosh. Happy holy day to all. If holy days like this. Oh yeah. Somebody said they missed it. Oh my gosh. Woo. That was a good one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. You're gonna sleep good tonight. Tonight. We're gonna sleep so good tonight. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Happy holiday to all the world. No drugs. No Jolie said. No Jolie said. When my boys are happy, I'm happy.
my God. Oh my gosh. Holy. Oh man. Oh, that was a lot. A lot got jokes. Oh my gosh. What the hell? Oh my gosh. These people really think that they have the Moors. They really think they have the Moors messed up or something. They really think they have the Moors messed up. Oh my gosh. That was good. Who's lighter? That was an exercise right there. Not at the workouts in. Not at the workouts in. And they went private. Not at the workouts in and they went private. Because it's important. It's important. It's important. Because people want to play games with you. Make you think Noble Drew Ali is some religious guy. And he plagiarized Levi Dowling at Aquarian Gospel there. And so because he said that he prepared it, then that means that... How about it says it's divinely prepared? How you left divinely out. That's why people get shut down. Because why? They're not dealing with the divine side. They're dealing with the national side, which is going to go into commerce and all that stuff. If you're a nation, that's their realm. That's not first though. Divine is first. So as soon as they start talking up, as soon as they start talking up about the Holy Quran was prepared by Noble Drew Ali and it came from Levi Dowling, Aquarian Gospel, so that means he's a plagiarist. No, it doesn't mean that. Why would it mean that? Why would Jose Pimenta Bay quoting, making reference to work before him in order to prove his point? Isn't that the same thing Noble Drew Ali is doing? There's a guy who put out a book called Aquarian Gospel. Guess what? Aquarian Gospel isn't even his book. Aquarian Gospel isn't his book. Aquarian Gospel belongs to the Akashic Records, according to him. And he just, got blessed with the touch to present this information that nobody refuted. Said, nah, no way that happened and all that stuff. Nobody went against it. It wasn't some evil thing, Aquarian Gospel, some evil thing that the European made and Noble Drew Ali plagiarized that. So that doesn't mean that. Aquarian Gospel is not some BS. That's metaphysics. Same stuff Drew Ali said, divine first, for. So he said divine first. Don't get caught up with the illusion, the matrix. Don't look at it too deep. Matrix are the passive Moors. Zion is the active Moors realm. to the point where active is the divine and passive is the national. Because you have to be divinely connected in order to really say you're a Moor. If you say, I'm a Moor, that's divine first, whether you're divine or not. It's divine first. And if you have stuff backwards, you're probably going to run into some problems and some issues. Because divine always supposed to be first. Principles first. Principles are divine. Principles not some mundane stuff. So if those are divine, and then he divinely prepared this, and then when people bring up Aquarian Gospel and Levi Dowling, and then they're going into something as if this individual was doing some devilish stuff. He wasn't doing no devilish stuff. Listen, who was Levi? The transcriber of this book. Regarding the personality of Levi, we are permitted to write but a little. Suffice it is to say that he is an American citizen and has been a close student of the religions of the world from childhood. When but a boy, he was impressed with the sensitiveness of the finer ethers and believed that in some manner they were sensitized plates on which sounds, even thoughts, were recorded. With avidity, he entered into the deeper studies of etheric vibration, determined to solve the great mysteries of the heavens for himself. 40 years he spent in study and silent meditation, and then he found himself in that stage of spiritual consciousness that permitted him to enter the domain of these superfine ethers and become familiar with their mysteries. He then learned that the imaginings of his boyhood days were founded upon veritable facts, and that every thought of every living thing is there recorded. In his manuscript titled The Cusp of the Ages, a part of which we have already reproduced in this introduction, we find the following copy of the commission, which Levi received from Visel, Visel, the goddess of wisdom, or the holy breath. You know, would you have holy breath as a chapter in this? Oh yeah, that he got from him, that he didn't really get from him, because they tell you that he got it from somewhere else. So it's not his stuff. So stop saying somebody who went to the Akashic Records and that's their stuff. How is that their stuff if they got it from the Akashic Records? It's not theirs. What kind of egomaniac is that? Claiming some divinely inspired thing as yours. And then why is the goddess of wisdom Visel? Where's Visel? No? Because everyone had their prophet bring them what it was to save the nation. And truth does not change or pass away, so everybody's stuff should be the same stuff if they say that they're prophets. If a guy says, I'm the prophet, then you're supposed to be able to take his stuff and then line it up with all the other prophet stuff, and it's supposed to be right in line. There's not supposed to be any discrepancy. Which you could do that with Noble Drew Ali and then everybody else who claim that they're a prophet. And I guarantee you you're going to run into brick walls with them. Because, you know, there's either prophet or it's a false prophet. So if there's a prophet, and then there's other people who say, oh yeah, I'm the prophet or whatever, and then people follow them or people don't follow them or whatever like that, and they exist. But there's a prophet over here nobody's paying attention to, but everybody's doing whatever they want to do. You know, they're not even looking at this imbecile prophet as the one. They think they got this locked and they could do whatever they want. When there's a prophet sitting there. Told these Moors in the 20s, the door, you know, keep the doors open. Noble Drew Ali told them, keep the doors open. So, Drew Ali said, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. Levi, who quote-unquote American citizen, dipped his cup into the Akashic records. And when he sipped was inspired. Just like Drew Ali was inspired to say that we're not Negro black colored. Just like they're going to talk about Moors are African. Moors are African. Because then you look up the etymology of Moor and it says African, so that means nothing. Because if Drew Ali said, it is most earnestly hoped that the Moor Science Temple of America will not in any way be confused with any back to Africa movement, why would you think that Moors are African? As far as Moors who are riding with Noble Drew Ali, we're not talking about just generic Moors out there. We're talking about Moors who see Noble Drew Ali as the prophet. They recognize him as the prophet for our people, and they ride with him with everything that he brought. And they ride regardless of what anybody has to say about it. And we always stand in defense of the prophet Noble Drew Ali because we know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. We're not dumb. We know what they did. I don't care about any other leader. We know what they did to him because he's the foundation of everybody in the Americas being able to push anything, call for the liberation of our people. He's the foundation. And you don't want to recognize him? But you're going to recognize all these goofs out here? Well, he said, don't confuse this to any back to Africa BS. So why is this talk about what are you talking about? I mean, Moors and you're talking about Morocco over there and all that stuff. Drew Ali said, do not confuse this with any back to Africa anything. So if you're not African, then what's he saying? We're Australian? That's what we're Moorish American because we're descendants of Australians? That's what he's saying? If he himself is saying, don't confuse us with back to Africa, and people in now are going to tell you Moors are African, were you riding with the prophet or you riding with this goof? Who they're so out of tune. It's just what we choose to make a lesson. So you know, don't be the goofs. Because look at them, whee, on their sword. out their mouth, through their eye, and all that stuff, just slipping, falling on their sword right now. You want to be around these people? Get with some real, true Moors. There's Moors out here who've been known about their nationality, birthrights, and business as usual. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where they're at. But these Moors, they know where they're at. And they're not confused. Regardless of what's happening to them, what they're experiencing or whatever like that, they're not confused. Because the duty of Moors is to be studying and applying what you know, whatever it is that you're studying. Not to hoard it, have it for yourself. To do what? Use the talent. But do it for your nation. You don't have. We're not Negro black colored anymore. We don't need to do it for them. But it's the game that they put on the people that we know that it's psychological. We know that it's psychological. When it's no more, when your children are going to be coming home and telling me, guess what, Ma, I saw more outside, and you don't know what they're talking about, you're going to be in problems. Because how could they know and you not know? Drew Ali told them, do not compare this to any back to Africa. Do not do that. The repetition of study is not just because something to say. That's a real thing. Like we say all the time, we know Moors who study that we would call them and put up finance to debate any of these people out here who are talking about they got the plan for our people. There's Moors. There's 10 Moors. We can go in the hat and just pull a name and wax the floor with all these people, one after the other. Whoever has a platform or whatever like that, bring yourself on here. And then if you lose the debate, you either proclaim your nationality and bring all your people with you, or jump off that precipice right there. Because there's no options. Because you had your time. It's time for Moors now. You had your time. All the Negro, Black, African, whatever, they had their time. Indigenous stuff, you guys had your time. You had your time. After they killed Noble Drew Ali, you had all that time until now to do what you say your plan is. You don't want to go with Noble Drew Ali? You're gonna say reincarnated Noble Drew Ali though. You're not gonna say you're not gonna say who you are. You're gonna say reincarnated him, but then not honor him. This is why it's a sojourn. And then you're gonna resonate with people on the frequency who are also looking at this divine. Anybody looking at this from after divine first, don't even pay them any attention. If they're telling you that Noble Drew Ali is a plagiarist, don't be listening to them. If they're telling you anything negative about Noble Drew Ali, don't be listening to them. Because they are keeping you a lamb to slaughter if they're not telling you about your birthrights. Well, what about the Moors that got arrested? Because they got arrested. So you have nothing to say to the colonists? Well, why are you looking at Moors that got arrested? How about the people doing the arresting? How about the people doing the arresting? No, nothing, no words for the people doing the arresting? No words at all? Nothing? Why are they not talking about the colonists? Why are you always bringing up what happened to Moors? Why are you not talking about the people who are busting people's windows and arresting them with no probable cause? No injured party. And not only did they do that, they just kidnapped somebody and then they gave them bail when it's the same charges that these Moors have. But you're not going to talk about that. You're going to talk about these Moors because they have guns. Oh my God, these Moors, they have guns. Oh my God, they're not supposed to have guns. Why do they have guns? Oh my God, they're not supposed to be doing that. Europeans messaging, saying we know what they're doing is wrong. We are not part of them. Europeans. I'm a European. I'm a white man. And I know I have a Second Amendment right. And what they did was not wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. We don't know what's going on, but we know that they're trampling on Second Amendment rights with this case. We know this. And we support you. Because nothing wrong was done. And these Europeans. And then you have your own riding with the colonizers story. You have your own now. Riding with the colonizer. They're not get played out here, even though you are. Even though you are. And the reason, you know, and when you look at, you know, the quote unquote infighting with the Moors, it's not infighting. It's the active versus the passive. Passive thinks that that's their position. That's where it's at. And that's just what they're gonna do. Like, they're so passive, they're not even talking against the colonizer. They don't talk about colonization and assimilation and pedophilia. They don't talk about that. They talk about, look at what these Moors are doing. These aren't Moors, these are Canadians. And these are Jamaicans that are pretending to be Moors. How is it that these modern European colonists that are in Morocco, North America, colonizing, can arrest somebody because they had arms? They didn't register car or whatever. Kidnap them, tow the car, release them on simple notes. Release them. They were out. Went to court the next day and then get kidnapped. They said 2,000 and somehow they bumped it up to 4,300. Paid it and they let them go. So how come other people are still locked up? What, you don't think something's going on here? Or is this a reach? Am I reaching? I'm trying to get over there. Am I reaching? If they say, "Yeah, we need finance. Let's hit this one individual up for 4,300 and get it, and then release them." Allegedly, they found, whatever they found in the car, and they said, "No problem. 4,300. $4,300 paid, gets out. So how is it that people are still locked up? How? They found stuff on them, yeah. Oh, hers was in the thing, locked with the safe, with the whatever, and theirs was in the open. So it's different. That makes it different. How does that make it different? The state law. Oh, but here we go. What are you talking about? State stuff. What are you talking about? I thought that's corporation. What do you mean the state? What do you mean the state did something? What do you mean the state has laws? What are you talking about? Isn't the supreme law of the land the Constitution? Tell me they're not working it with the 43. Right? Why? Why that amount? They don't know. Of course they know. Of course they know. Why wouldn't they know? Why wouldn't they know? Oh yeah.
Noble Akil, I heard one of the members was giving up information to get out on probation. I don't know. I in regards to this update in these videos, I also dropped I put the playlist that that I've been adding to. I'm doing my best to just stick to the information that is provided or evidence that we can see, as opposed to speculation. What I will say, because it's not speculation.
Just wanted to show you the pedal. You see the pedal swirl on the shirt right here? You see the pedal swirl, right? You see the pedal swirl and the cartoon stuff to get the children, right? So be mindful out there, because they're showing their stuff. When you have the pedal swirl, you know something's up. Drew Ali and the Moors. The MSTA, founded by a man named Timothy Drew, who later became known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The first temple was established in 1913 under the title of the Canaanite Temple and the subsequent Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The organization was established during the time of Garveyism, a movement named after Marcus Mosiah Garvey, founder and president of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Under Garveyism, Negro and black people were encouraged to denounce their pre-emancipation titles and identity. He asserted that only by doing this would free men be able to recognize their disenfranchisement, lynching, and utter disrespect as crimes committed by European Americans. Noble Drew Ali carried on Garvey's message by declaring that so-called Negroes possessed a distinctive nationality. He declared that they were not what their oppressor claimed them to be, but were in fact Moorish Americans, descendants from the ancient Moabites. Any thorough review of the history of near Asian lands would reveal such places as Canaan and Moab, extensions of what we call the African continent. Distorted history has attempted to deny the Africanity of those known throughout history as Moors in the interest of Eurocentricism's pigmentocratic status quo, which implies that one's political power and social worth are directly related to the lightness of their complexion. This same deception was used by Europeans during and after slavery to justify their abuse and oppression of quote-unquote blacks. The teachings of the MSTA stressed the importance of black Americans creating an identity separate from the European construction of blackness that had specifically to do with being both black and American, particularly if one was also from the South. Noble Drew Ali taught that if black Americans embraced their true Moorish nationality, as he termed it, the U.S. government under which they lived and all other nations would respect them and could regard them as dignified people with a history that merited respect. In 1790, there is one such documented stance of so-called Negroes and slaves using their Moorish nationality to gain their freedom. The Sundry Free Moors Act of 1790 was the legislation passed by the House in South Carolina after 4 African couples who were brought to the Americas enslaved argued that they were in fact subjects of a prince in alliance with the U.S. under their petition, they claimed. Some years passed, they had the misfortune while fighting in the defense of their country to be captured with their wives and made prisoners of war by one of the kings of Africa. That a certain Captain Clark had them delivered to him a promise that they should be redeemed by the Emperor of Morocco ambassador, then residing in England, in order to have them return to their own country, instead of which he brought them to this state and sold them for slaves. Since Negroes could not be slaves under the Negro Act, the skin color was prima facie evidence of Negro identity. We can confidently conclude that the Moors in question were phenotypically Africoid. Their enslavement in the U.S. was a direct violation of Chapter 1, Section 4 of the Negro Act, which states, "The term Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers, and their descendants. It does not embrace the free inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, Moors, or the Negro Asiatics, such as the Lascars." You see what Joali said with the back to Africa? And don't confuse it. That the term Negro is confined to the slave Africans, the ancient Berbers and their descendants. That's the people who came from Africa. They're the ancient Berbers. The ones who claiming they came over here on ships and all that stuff, okay, you're Berber. And the term Negro does not embrace the free inhabitants, such as the Egyptians, the Moors, or the Negro Asiatics. The petitioners argued that under their Moorish nationality, they may not be considered as subject to the law of this state, now in force, called the Negro Law, quote unquote state law, that they're trying to say that these Moors are under because they're not supposed to do in the state or whatever like that. Hold on, that's the same thing as here. That they may not be considered as subject to the law of this state, just like the sundry free Moors. Which is why they took the 4,300 and gave the Moor back. Because you have to see that it's a game that they're pulling, an intimidation game. It's all about make sure that the people are playing the passive. They want you to play the passive. They want you to play the passive. Don't go passive. Active at all times. And active doesn't mean put on a turban or a fez or something like that. That means you're active. Active is doing for the nation. Joali said there's enough work for all to do. Everybody has a job already. Are you doing it? You already have a job. To the nation. Remember what I said in the beginning? If you say that you're a Moor, know that this is serious stuff. When you say I'm a Moor, that's serious. They may not be considered as subject to a law of the state. But if they should unfortunately be guilty of any crime or misdemeanor against the laws of the land, that they may have a just trial by a lawful jury. Isn't that the same thing that these Moors were supposed to get? Isn't the Moorish militia case? Because remember, ain't no trial yet either. Militia case. Isn't this Sundry Free Moors 2021? Isn't that the position that they're presenting? Because you could just look at the thing and realize there ain't a jury of anybody's peers in there. And everything that's happened up to date has been under color of law. Everything has been under color of law. Because from day one, they're moving without probable cause. They're denationalizing people so it could fit their agenda, their narrative. But look how serious they're gonna go. They're gonna set up a sting. They're gonna set up a sting to block a Moor who's traveling, block them from leaving the parking lot. Right? There's the Matrix. It's the Agent Smith and all that. It's like the real deal. Right? They're gonna have her in the thing, right, with her mouth. She doesn't have a mouth or whatever like that. Have her lay on the table or whatever. They gave her the thing, pulled out the stuff and the legs came out or whatever. And they said 4,300. No, actually, it didn't go like that. She was in there chilling, She was in there chilling. With them acting crazy. Them talking crazy. But it is the Matrix. The Agent Smiths blocked the thing, took them out the ride, did their little illegal search without a warrant. You're not going to talk about that? You're not going to talk about illegal search, no warrant. Just open the door, take them out. Hi, how you doing? Just take off your seatbelt right there. Thank you very much. We're just going to search you. Not search her, the car. Color of law up and down. Sting operation up and down. Right? And the people aren't talking about the color. I'm talking about what the Moors did. Well, they should have had plates on their thing. What do you mean? What do you mean they should have had plates? They came there the last 3 times with the same stuff. No issues. You tell me they didn't pass one highwayman? They did a 10-hour car ride. $20-hour car ride. They didn't pass one highwayman. Said, hey, all those plates, what kind of plates are those? And they pull them over and see what they're doing. Nothing. Nothing at all? Like really nothing? No stops? Then all of a sudden, at a court date, you get the illegal search, no warrant and all that, and then kidnapped on top of that, and then released, and then go to court and kidnapped again, and then released. And people they're not in an uproar. Not an uproar about what they did. The uproar about all this color. How much color do the people have to see? No. There's a narrative. There's a narrative. You know, there's a narrative. And they messed up because, you know, they thought there's such a thing as bad publicity. And if you're not an egomaniac, you know, your bad publicity will humble you, and you go into the bushes and, you know, live the rest of your life, you know, whatever. You know? Next level. Go back to these ones here. Their authentic designation as Moors exempted them from being slaves, along with punishment of oppressive laws that constrained the lives of other so-called Negroes. They were therefore able to move about the country as freemen with their own distinct culture and religion, Islam. Although their presence in the U.S. is often disregarded and ignored, evidence of the alliance between the Morocco and America hides in plain sight. The history of the Moors' existence almost 200 years prior to Noble Drew Ali is represented by the crescent moon, as well a well-known Islamic symbol, and the palm tree on the South Carolina flag. It is proven difficult to connect Noble Drew Ali to his Moorish predecessors, since much of his early life is shrouded in a mystery. We do know that he was born to an ex-slave father and mother who are part Cherokee and part Moorish. Ali was orphaned as a child and spent time studying in Egypt. Even with limited biographical information on Drew Ali, we can learn much about the man and his movement from the ways he resisted the dominant political and social rhetoric of black worthlessness and inferiority. Noble Drew Ali openly encouraged so-called Negroes in America to reject all European practices that were used to control them as slaves. He believed that if they were to resist Christianity, refrain from using slave names, and proclaim their Moorish nationality, it would take them out of the subordinate position they have been placed. When Africans were enslaved in the New World, they were forced to abandon their former ways of life, including their religion. For many scholars, Christianization and slavery were essentially processes of cultural destruction. Christianity was presented by Europeans as the only way to salvation for barbarous Africans. The fact that many African Americans continued to practice Christianity after emancipation was problematic to Drew Ali. It was disturbing to know that so many free Africans embraced the Christian slave myth and its civilizing mission, since it was so far removed in practice from revelation. Blacks in the southern states were oppressed by racist laws. They had their churches bombed and burned, and public lynchings were commonplace. It was irrational to believe that a missionary religion that targeted ex-slaves after the Civil War and emphasized that Christianization would achieve racial uplift and redeem converts from African decadence could also promote and support equity between the races. Noble Drew Ali stressed the importance of the so-called Negroes rejecting Christianization, the same religion that was used to justify their oppression for centuries. It was Drew Ali's claim that Christianity was alien to African Americans and that as Moors, their ancestral religion was Islam. The Christianity presented to slaves concealed their religious heritage by removing their presence from history, by rejecting Christianity and returning it to its rightful European owners. So-called Negroes themselves were returning to their gods of their forebears, which would reawaken them from their slave mentality and amnesia. And you don't want that. You don't want to wake up from the sleep. You don't want to wake up from the sleep. Don't fall for the passive sleep. Do not fall for the passive. It's about active. It's about being. It's about being. Right. That's all you gotta do. Just be. Just be. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the man. Drew Ali is the man. We know this. We know this. The significance of racial and ethnic consciousness to anti-racist resistance, a case study on the Moorish Science Temple of America. By Melissa McCletchy. That's my sister. Killing them. Killing them. That was her dissertation. That was her dissertation. And she got her degree and she got the job and all that stuff. So you gotta get with the Drew Ali and do something with yourself, or sorry, you're already dead. Honors to all the Moors. Happy Holy Day. Happy Holy Day to all the Moors everywhere. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to all the mothers. Peace and love to all the Moors. Islam.